All right, so the first thing we're going to do is pull out the thread that we're going to use for warping our loom. And in your bag, there's going to be like a cluster of colorful string. There's that needle that popped out. Be really careful when you're pulling out. I mean, the needle's not sharp, but you want to be careful not to lose it. So. And I'll go ahead and put it back into my bag. I'm going to separate out the colorful yarn, and inside of your bag there should be a piece of cream colored yarn. So you notice the difference between this is bright white and this is cream. So I'm going to put the colorful yarn back to the side, and I've got this long piece of yarn that is going to be used for warping my loom. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to take and just run that through like that. And I like to tape that so that it stays right where it's at. If you don't have tape, that's fine. You can just leave it hanging there. Now, there is a way to warp a loom where you wrap the string around the front and the back of the loom, but that uses a lot of thread, and we have a limited amount of thread, so we are going to warp our loom in a way that it only goes on one side. So now that I have taped this down here, I'm going to flip my loom over. Okay, and I am going to come down to the bottom, the opposite one, and I'm going to loop that underneath here, and then I'm going to loop it around and into the next one. So on the back side, it looks like that. Let me show you that one more time. So I'm going to pull it down, and then I'm going to loop it over so that it's wrapped around the back like that. And then I'm going to take this and come straight to the opposite little tooth, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hook it around the back and then come down to the bottom. Around the little tooth and then up to the opposite side. And so on the back side of my loom, I'm just going to have these little pieces like that. And it's important that you don't like skip one, because then your warp thread is going to be not straight, not vertical. And you don't want to leave your yarn loose, so make sure that it's pretty tight when you pull it. Across, but of course you don't want to pull it so tight that it's making your piece of cardboard kind of buckle or bend. Okay, when you get to the end, you're going to flip your loom over. And remember yesterday how my loom had too many notches pre-drawn on it, so I didn't cut out the last one because I wanted to have an even number. Now I can check it, and I've got an even number of warp strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So I'm going to flip it over, and you notice that I've got quite a bit of extra string here. So if you didn't have tape, you could tie those together so that it wasn't wobbling around or falling off as you start to weave. But if you have tape, you can just tape it instead. It's not a right or a wrong way. Just if you have tape available, it's faster. And if you don't have tape, you can tie it. So when your loom looks like this, you have successfully prepared it for the next step, which will be weaving your first rows of a basic over-under weave.